Alright folks, so Brian's gone for this week visiting his folks, and I'm gonna do a few things around the house, see if I can surprise him when he gets back. But one of the projects I'm actually thinking of is getting back to creating the frame for my big Colorado map. That never got hung up. I had arranged all of these pieces to this old-timey map of Colorado and mounted it on a big mounting sheet, but we never made a frame for it. So I'm gonna see if I can do this myself. Gonna test out some of my skills, and going all the way back to those times when I did the cabinets and I attempted to make furniture. But so I'll show you what I've got here. Here's my this is my mounting board. I think it's 36 or 38 inches. It's on the other side, so I'll have to check, by 48 or something like that. And then there's a couple of pieces of baseboard that I don't think Brian's going to be using. This one's got a real sway to it. Anyway, so I think I can use these pieces and see if I can do my frame with that. So let's see what we can do. First of all, this one needs to be sanded down. There's some remnant polyurethane. I think I did some water anyway, it needs to be sanded. And then I'm going to stain them like a dark black. So, all right, let's get to it. So the next thing I'm trying to figure out is exactly how long I want it. I know I'm going to have to do mitered corners. So that's my challenge, is the miter corner. I should probably just line it up with this corner here. So two inches. So it's 52. And 104. Okay. It's fun pulling out all of Brian's tools when he's not here. Get to use the chop saw. This one I kind of like. This one's just pretty simple. Don't have to worry about straight cut because it cuts pretty straight. The easy part. I've got my two lengths now. I've got to miter corners, but I think I'm going to cut my other two lengths, the sides of the frame next, and I still have to sand these too. Okay, gotta get my lengths now. I better put those corners on. I attempted this once before, and it's for some reason, it's really tricky getting these 45s and matching them up, but I'll see what I can do. Okay, that's not the tricky part. The tricky part is figuring out if I just want the corner to hit. Okay, I need some blocks. There's always wood putty, right? Okay. Now the reverse. Flip the board backwards. Okay, that's one. And that's okay because I want to have it overlapping the piece. So this is the tricky part. Okay, so I think the hardest part of this job is figuring out how to fit all the corners together. I think you have to be 100% precise to get those perfect corners, and obviously I don't have those kind of woodworking skills yet. There's hope for me. I still have one more board to cut here, but I'm trying to figure out exactly, how long it has to be. My theory is just get it close enough and then, fill some things in with wood glue and putty and then stain over it and see how it looks. Okay, taking one from the Brian playbook. So gluing and clamping and then nailing in with nail gun. So hopefully the nail gun's working, I'm not really sure. The challenge here is, holding all of this together. What I need are pipe clamps that are big enough for this project, and I don't have them. We have some larger size pipe clamps, but they're currently being used as a closet and a chin-up bar, and I wasn't really ready to take all that down and disassemble it for this project. So I'm making do without. I'm going to try to use just pressure clamps, quick clamps, but that's clearly not adequate. So anyway, trying to glue things together without a way to really, really hold it tight, which, not ideal for this project, clearly. I'm trying to use a sandwich of shims and try to clamp everything together. But I pretty much find out that it's kind of useless. Like it's just somewhat holding, but not really. Might as well just put it flat on the floor and, it's just didn't really seem to be effective. Pipe clamp is completely the way to go, so it has pressure from the outside on all four directions. And I'm just kind of flailing here with my attempt at trying to clamp with the inappropriate clamp and hold things together with the wood glue. It's just kind of hanging out there. This is probably Brian's worst nightmare of doing a project, but this is how I do things, and I don't really, I just figure things out how I go, and we'll see what I can do. Make the decision actually to do more of the fastening with the nail gun and really hold the project together with the nail gun and then fill in the cracks with the glue and the putty. So I'm finding that it's getting more stability with using the nail gun. I think I'm using an inch. I think my nails are about an inch or inch and a half. So it's definitely helping out, right? So kind of holding it into place and then shooting it with the nail gun and getting my stability that way instead of using the clamp system. Not perfect, obviously, probably not going to hold up if the frame were to fall. Let's hope it doesn't fall. But as you can see here in the corners, it's not totally bad, like there is a little bit of a gap, but I'm using some glue in here to kind of fill it. And, it's going to have a rustic look anyway, so hopefully the stain will help. So now I'm going around with the wood filler to really fill in some gaps. There was a couple corners were fine, and then there was a couple of corners that were pretty bad. But with the nail gun in there, the nails, that's helping it hold together. And, let's not forget about the bowed wood. So I'm using bad boards, really, because we're not going to be using them in the baseboards. Probably not the best wood for a project like this when you want straight frames, but this is what I'm using, this is what I've decided, and I'm going with it. Okay, phew, it's a little big project. So next step is I'll be staining it and maybe put a little wood filler in it before I stain it. Well, it's rough looking, but the cracks are filled. And once I get some stain on there and sand it all, I think it won't be so noticeable. That was the worst one by far, but that's the board that's a little bit warped. So I'm not really sure if this is gonna fix that problem. But anyway, we'll see what it is tomorrow. All right, folks, so I'm going to show you what it looks like now and explain how I mounted the map onto the frame. So because the map and the mounting of the pieces of the map on the poster board were to the very edge, I really didn't want to overlap the map with the frame. So I mounted the poster board on top of the frame. So kind of non-traditional that way, but so I'm getting about a 2-inch border all the way around, and I'm not losing any of the map itself, because if I had to mount it within a frame, I'd probably lose at least an inch, maybe 1.5 inches all the way around the border. So, I mean, it's kind of a difficult piece. It's so large. I probably could have gotten another piece of poster board and just cut it all down. Anyway, so now, so what the challenge of this piece is, how do you mount it on top of the frame? And I did notice something went, so in the other video, I mounted the pieces of the map to the poster board using double-sided glue dots, but they ended up not being, what do you want to call it, sticky enough or powerful enough to keep from falling off. I think in this climate, you get a lot of dryness and things don't stick forever. Ultimately, I think probably putting something behind glass would be the best bet. But what I did was I used these little decorative tacks. So what I used to mount the poster board to the frame was these little decorative tacks. They're like little, I don't know, not square, but like rustic looking furniture tacks or something. And then I have these even really smaller little tiny 1/2-inch brad nails or something. I don't know what they are. Got them at the craft show. I mean, I got them at the craft store, but you always find random projects for them. I use them for my beehive frames sometimes. So in the map, I've nailed the corners of each of these prints into the wood itself. And even further down, the bottom corner has one of those. You can't really see them because they're black. But anyway, so they're holding it into place. I got a few in the 4 corners of the maps. And then I've used some of those smaller nails in between. So anyway, now that I'm happy with the way that it looks mounted, and I know some of the wood was not square, it was a little bit lopsided, and I couldn't get the perfect line up as far as 2 inches all the way around square, but I think it looks pretty good from eyeballing it, So what I'm going to do next is mount the hanging wire on the back. So this is what I'm using for hanging wire. It's beading wire, but it is like 7 strands of beading wire, nylon wrapped. So it's pretty strong stuff, very hard to break. So I'm just going to double this up and put this on the back. Well, I guess that wire's not going to work. Okay, well, this is not picture wire, but it's definitely a heavy-duty gauge. So I'll just really crimp it around those screws there to get a secure wire there. definitely gonna hold. Okay, step 2, or 3, or 5, or wherever I am at the end here. There's nothing to stand on right here, so I gotta do the Brian trick and take this giant stair rail, the one that was making up our stairs, and put it across the hole so I have something to stand on. So it's not heavy, but it's large. I mean, it's 52 inches across. I can barely span it with my arms. And I've got 2 screws in the wall, so I'm trying to locate those with the wire. That's not exactly a picture wire, so it's a little bit wavy, and I'm having trouble getting the second screw located there. So it's like I'm sliding, and yeah, it's a little tricky to find. Whoops, slipped out of my hand there. Luckily, there's a little bit of a ledge, and I didn't drop it because Amy thinks if it drops, it will break. At least if it goes all the way down the stairwell, it'll probably break. But anyway, I managed to get it on finally, and now I'm just trying to determine if that's relatively center. I actually didn't really plan that out. I just was looking for studs when I put the screws in the wall. So. Looks like a lot of mountains, but once this stairwell is out of the way, might be something cool to look at when you're going up and down the stairs of the loft. Not bad. We'll see what he thinks. I can definitely tell that wood is warped because it's holding away from the wall there, but it's kind of a cool look to it. Big. To pull up that heavy board. That's kind of heavy and long, but hey guys, I got this, you know, no trace. Brian's never gonna know until he looks at the wall what I did in here. Well, so there it is, an Amy project. Definitely not like a Brian project. They always seem to be riddled with character mistakes, I guess you can call them. Not perfect by any means, but I think it'll be a nice surprise when Brian gets back, and we'll have to see what he thinks about it. I'm sure we'll have to take it off the wall for the rest of the construction of the stairs, but for now, looking pretty good. And I'm sure once those stairs get in, they'll block the view a little bit, but it's just a giant map, and definitely needed a place to put it. So that's definitely the best wall for right now. And you can when you're on the stairs, you'll be able to get close enough where you can kind of look at the map and get really detailed about the towns and everything. So yeah, anyway, all right guys, well that's the rest of my map project. So we'll see what else I can get done while Brian's gone. I've got a couple ideas for sure, but let me know what you think about the map, and I'll see if I can't finish this video with some close-ups of it.